So Will Smith is, as you're probably aware, having a bit of a hard time recently. And I just thought it was worth talking about because I actually feel really bad for the guy. And everyone is dunking on him, and fairly, justly, and hilariously, which we'll go through.
It could be a crime.
Yeah, but also he's definitely having a moment, and it's quite bad. But anyway, let's begin this by talking about the Oscars, right? No one cares about the Oscars. I didn't watch the Oscars. Did you watch the Oscars?
There was no Ricky Gervais.
He doesn't do the Oscars. He does the Golden Globes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wouldn't watch any award show if it wasn't him.
Well, there we go. But the thing is, I think it's worth just pointing out just how detached and how up its own rectum Hollywood has become compared to where they used to be only a year ago, right? In 2021, the Oscars had 23.6 million viewers. This year, 10.4. 56% of your audience sliced off in a year.
It's gonna hurt.
I mean, this is just the general decline of award shows. These are just all award shows are just dying at this point, and it's actually
good to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Wait, what was that? 2012, and everything just starts dying completely.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, look at it from like 2015 sort of onwards, and you can see the precipitous decline, right? So the Emmys have lost 14%, which is the lowest cut, basically, but then they've always had the lowest figure. The Grammys had a 51% drop from 18.69 million to 9.23 million. Like, Hollywood is losing its popularity. No one cares.
The popularity it had.
Well, yeah, but I mean, getting 20 million people to watch your award show, that's pretty impressive, and to then have that literally halved in a year, that's awful. Like, if I were those guys, I'd be like, okay, what are we doing wrong? It's probably because of policies like this, right? I mean, this is the Oscars. Well, if you can go to the next one, we're not gonna host films or consider films that don't feature enough black, gay, or disabled actors in the cast and crew. There are movies that involve 3 people.
Just add some extras.
Yeah.
Just add a load of black guys in the background.
Yeah.
As extras.
Yeah. I mean, a remake of The Thing, you have 6 people on the cast. It's well, okay, there aren't many ramps for diversity, for disability of access in the Arctic. What are we supposed to do? Are you going to have them in there, or you're not getting your Oscar? It's sorry. But this is the ideological.
I mean, I'm thinking of ways around this. You're just having this movie where you're trouncing through the Arctic, and you just have a flashback to when I used to work at the YMCA with just a very diverse cast for a minute.
What if you're remaking Watership Down? There aren't any people in it. It's a film about rabbits. Sorry, you're not getting an Oscar. I know it's moving,
there's a few black rabbits,
heartbreaking, dramatic, it's tragic. But there's no Oscar for you because there aren't any gay, disabled black actors.
Where are the gay, disabled black actors in Schindler's List?
Not worthy of the Oscar. But anyway, so go follow our Dispatches feeds on various social media platforms, by the way, where Rory's doing a great job finding all this stuff. But anyway, so let's get to actually the Oscars, which happened this weekend. So Chris Rock was hosting, and Chris Rock is a very funny man. He's been very funny for a long time, and he makes lots of edgy jokes. And he was in the middle of making an edgy joke about Will Smith's wife. Do you know who she is?
No.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
He said that he was presenting the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. He was excited to watch Pinkett Smith in G.I. Jane 2. Bit of a niche joke.
I don't get it.
I know you don't. Because it's not something from the Soviet Union. But the point is, G.I. Jane was like Demi Moore or something, where she had to shave her head.
Okay.
And Jada Pinkett Smith in 2018 revealed that she was diagnosed with alopecia, a condition which causes hair loss, and therefore she shaves her head as well. Right? So he's making a joke about her hair loss, which, don't get me wrong, alopecia, pretty rough, on an emotional level, a bit confidence destroying. Understandable, but it's the sort of joke that you'd expect at a ceremony like this, where they all know each other and they kind of roast each other, friendly, normally. And
also, what are you going to do? Hide it? Your hair's not there.
Yeah, exactly. You've kind of just got to own it and be like, yep, this is something that's happened to me. It sucks, but I'm going to soldier on. And then you get, Chris Rock slaps you with a bit of a joke and you're like, ha, 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 ha. But no. And I shouldn't use the word slap because, well, that's what's happening. It was a bit presaging there. Let's just watch the clip, shall we? This is how Will Smith responded.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your f***ing mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
That was awkward.
Yeah. For lots and lots and lots of reasons, right? So I did, there are a lot of people like, oh, this is staged or whatever. It's like, maybe. But it didn't look very staged. Like, Chris Rock looked kind of shocked that this had happened. He didn't look like he thought he was about to get slapped either. So he was kind of leaning in because they know each other. They're buddies. Like, what's going on? And the hit sounded like it was an actual hit. So, you know, good for Chris Rock for taking it like a champ, by the way. So, you know, no, he carried on. He was pretty good about it. Right, but look at this from moments before. Look at her face. Like, you can see this Will Smith. Oh yeah, this is a friendly roast. We're having a joke, and she's not happy. So I slowed down that clip so we can watch like her eye roll, and you can see where all of this has come from. Let's play this next bit. Right. Look, watch her face. He's having a good time. Someone is in trouble now, Will. You can see where this has gone. And so his demeanor, laughing, friendly.
Engaging in the comedy.
Seconds later, slap. Who's made him do this? It's obviously her. But anyway, so what I find really interesting about this is the afterwards, where he was like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, right? He wasn't, this is clearly not what he was thinking as he was telling the joke. This was clearly something that had just come up because she had obviously twisted a screw on him. And that's really weird because, like, if there's one thing you would have thought, it's, well, you put your relationship out in the public. Their relationship is very public, and everyone kind of knows the ins and outs of it, and everyone's kind of like, the ins and outs of their marriage is kind of gross. And so him being like defending the sanctity of his wife's honor in public, it's like, okay. But anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. So he won the Best Actor award, right? So you're allowed to go up and slap Chris Rock. And they're like, well, here's your award.
Is this before or after?
This is after.
That must have been even more awkward.
It got even more awkward. I'm not going to play the full award acceptance. I'm just going to quote slightly from it. But he won the Best Actor Oscar for this award. And I think it's the first Oscar he's won. So,
oh man, that does give some credence to the idea it's fake though. These two actors, and then he's the best actor.
Well,
I mean, I don't believe it, but I can see the idea.
I can see why people would think so. But the thing is, you can feel the tension just by watching all of this. Like, everyone's like, oh, okay, this is definitely off script at this point, you know. And like, you've got like Denzel Washington like consoling him afterwards. We'll get to it, but anyway. So anyway, he gets the Best Actor award, and then he goes up and accepts it, right? So if we can go to the next one, just you can see him delivering this. Now, I've watched a lot of Will Smith's films for many decades now. I know he's not this good an actor, right? He is just not this good an actor. I mean, he's literally bawling with tears at points, right, over this. And he's saying what sounds like weird and disjointed stuff. Like, I was overwhelmed by what God is calling upon me to do and be in this world. I'm being called on in my life to love people and protect people and be a river to my people. And I know what to do, what we've got to do to be able to take abuse and to have people talk crazy. And he was saying that before he accepted this award, but after he'd slapped Chris Rock, Denzel Washington had said to him, at your highest moments, that's when the devil comes for you. And he's like, look, I want to be a vessel for love. And it's like, yeah, okay. This is a man he's trapped in a bad place, right? With people around him that are not respecting him. And this is obvious. And it's been obvious for many, many years. He apologizes to everyone, apart from Chris Rock. I'm sorry to the Academy. I'm sorry to all of you people. It's like, what about Chris Rock? Did you smack him in the face in public? Does he not deserve an apology? No, not that guy. But the whole thing is very unwholesome. And that's the problem. It's like watching a man having a public breakdown. And
yeah, it's almost kind of cruel to give him an award and make him stand up there.
yeah, it was. I was genuinely like feeling for him. And afterwards, there was like footage of him during this commercial break. If we can go to the next one, where he is being pulled aside and comforted by Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry, who are trying to get him to brush it off. And then he goes a six-pack down with Jada, and they're comforting each other. So I don't think this was fake. The executive editor of Vanity Fair, who was tweeting live from the ceremony, said that someone who works for the Oscars told him that Chris Rock was not interrupted by Smith at rehearsals yesterday. He didn't think that was supposed to happen. This appeared to be real. They said, yes, it did appear to be real. But I don't blame people for thinking it was staged. So the question is, what am I talking about? Like this, because this appears to be the last act of a humiliated man to try and retain some of his dignity. And that's really, really sad that the entire world has to watch him crying about this. Because Jada Smith basically cucked Will Smith in 2020. It's really gross. She was like, I had an affair with this guy called August Alsina, during their marriage. And this was really gross because Rory sent me the footage, so I hadn't actually seen this. So they did like this podcast called Red Table Talk, where they sit around a red table. And she sat him down and basically made him agree that only she gets to control who she sleeps with in the marriage, as if he, her husband, has no input on who she has sex with. It's like, are you effing insane?
What's the point of you being my woman if you don't have any say in this?
We'll get to that in a minute. But anyway,
I think I've seen that clip, because that's the one where the meme comes from as well. Where he's just sat there, just tears.
Yes, and the whole thing is awful to watch. It is.
But he's still with her?
Yes.
I assumed he left her and then got a new wife.
You would assume that. Because, I mean, it's not like Will Smith couldn't get a new woman. I mean, he's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like, of all people on earth to be chained to this absolute
this makes
snake.
it way worse. I thought he got a new wife and that was like the new wife.
Oh, no, that would be, yeah. I mean, that would be fine. I mean, the new wife hadn't, told the world, by the way, I've been cheating on my husband. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, because I've got no say in who she has sex with. Like the absolute worst of it, right? But basically they decided apparently to go on a separate period for a time and figure out how to make yourselves happy. And then she was like, yeah, I got into an entanglement with August. And he was like, well, it was more than an entanglement, wasn't it? And she was like, well, yeah, it was an entanglement. It's like, you had a relationship. It's like, yeah, it was a relationship. It's like, yeah, you were shagging this other guy while being married to Will Smith because you were on a break. It's very Ross and Rachel from Friends, but worse. But awful, actually. And during an interview with The Breakfast Club, Alinsa confirmed that he and Plinkett Smith dated during the marriage and with the full knowledge and, quote, blessing of Will Smith.
What?
And, yeah, I know. And
but he agreed to it.
Allegedly. But, like, it seems, and if you watch the Red Table podcast, it seems very much that she has browbeaten him into it. She's got a particular narrative that hinges on a bunch of things that force Will Smith to essentially cede all kind of personal sovereignty and say, well, no, everything you want is perfect, everything I want is selfish, and it's really gross to watch. I watched it before the podcast. It's gross, but she's like, the only person who can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself. It's like, okay, ho. Anyway, just to really round off just how emasculated Will Smith is at this point, right? Jaden Smith, his son, is a genderqueer and LGBT fashion icon. He wears skirts. He's created a non-binary fashion line. He's a genderqueer fashion icon. He wore a dress to the prom. He represents the LGBTQ community on screen, and he announced he had a boyfriend on stage. Not the pinnacle of masculinity. Will Smith, coming from a previous generation.
Sorry, does he say he's gay?
Yeah.
Or does he say he's queer?
Good question. But he's definitely an LGBT icon. So Will Smith, and one of the things that you should note from Will Smith is he's always portrayed a very wholesome, masculine, and family-focused career. Like, just look at his films. There's nothing weird and unusual about it. And so it's like, right, if you are trying to promote that in your films and you look at his real life, well, his real life is shambles, absolute shambles. And so after this, #cuck was trending on Twitter.
I kind of get it, because if he did agree to it, then yeah, that would be definitionally.
It's just all people talking about how he has been repeatedly publicly humiliated by Jada Smith. If you can go to the next one. I mean, it's
people listening, you can F my wife, but keep her name out your mouth.
With a picture of him slapping Chris Rock.
Hashtag cuck.
It's awful. And just again, like to go through like the marriage, right? Basically, in 2013, if you go to the next one, Jada denies open marriage rumors, saying Will and I can do whatever we want because we have a grown relationship. It's like, yeah, okay.
Which is why he's crying.
You're a cheating hoe, right? Got it.
No, but just we can do what we want, which is why my husband is crying.
Yeah.
No. Like, he's crying because he's upset and you just don't care.
Yeah, the whole thing, and again, when you watch this red table thing, you can see that she is talking expressly about herself at the complete expense of any concerns or feelings that he might have on the issue. His opinion on this does not matter at all, right? And so in 2015, people were rumoring they were going to get divorced, and in 2018, Will Smith is like, well, we don't refer to ourselves as married. So when you were like, why even call yourself?
You're divorcing, surely.
He says, we refer to ourselves as life partners. When you get into that space when you realize you are literally with someone for the rest of your life, there's no deal breakers, there's nothing she could do ever, nothing that would break our relationship. She has my support till death, and it feels so good to get in that space. Well, why do you look like it's crushing you? Why would you give her a free check? But like, look,
She can do literally anything. What can you do, I wonder?
Literally nothing. You can go slap Chris Rock. This is why I think people who like... You know, everyone. You know, he's having this public breakdown. He slaps, and everyone's like, "Okay, this is a problem with him." You know, the people around him who, frankly, seem deeply toxic and gaslighting towards Will Smith. Right, and she also denies that what she did was infidelity. But of course, he doesn't satisfy her in the bedroom. She said that in 2021. Thanks, darling. Go and tell the world that I, Will Smith, can't satisfy you in the bedroom.
Like, literally, so she's cheating on him, saying that he's not good enough in bed, and also I can do what I want in public to everyone, and he can do nothing.
Yeah. This is an absolutely broken man.
I don't get why he's still with her.
Yeah. I mean, if you can go to the next one, but this is the round table thing. Just look at the face.
Yeah,
just
that's
look
the
at
meme.
that. Yeah, but that is a man who's just holding in rage and hatred and disappointment and hurt. There's no evidence that he's cheated on her. I mean, he could probably have seas of young women.
Yeah, and who the hell is she?
Exactly. She's 48 years old and she looks like a serpent. Like, why her? Because when they were 22 or whatever on, like, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think it was, they met and they fell in love, and he's just committed.
Well, that's long since gone.
Yeah, exactly, right? But the thing is, it gets worse, right? In 2021, like, he's carrying this torch for her for some reason. But in 2021, she shared a poem that Tupac Shakur had written for her because they had, like, kind of dated before she had got together with Will Smith. And so, like, 30 years ago, she's now like, yeah, so here's one of my old boyfriends. He wrote a poem for me. Isn't this beautiful? And Will Smith is just sat there, just crying. Like, what is going on? This is why I'm very sympathetic. Well, this is awful, right? So the Daily Mail posted this. Jada Pinkett Smith shared a never-before-seen poem from a former friend, quote-unquote, Tupac. The 49-year-old actress, sorry, she's 50 now. Don't know why, just get a 30-year-old look, mate, honestly. Posted the video in an early commemoration of what had been the late rapper's 50th birthday, while also expanding on her relationship with the performer. Fans have always speculated whether the beauty and the late rapper ever dated, and she had spoken at length about their chemistry together several times in the past. So she keeps going on about the guy who died 30 years ago, how much she loved him, and Will Smith's just got to sit there and take it. But anyway.
I mean, any normal person would be just smashing the divorce button.
Yeah, he should have done it in 2013.
Abort. Like,
yeah. This is not your wife anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Academy doesn't condone violence, which is good to know. They don't condone I mean, honestly, like, it could have been worse than just a slap, I think.
Do you condone cuckoldry?
Yeah. Yeah, we condone
I want to know that next.
Well, I mean, let's hear a big list of things they condone.
Well, do you condone everything she's doing?
Yeah. But
I mean, emotional abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly not consented to this. I mean, I know there are cuckolds out there that exist, right?
Yeah, but he's not one of them.
He's clearly
he's not
being
this
abused.
isn't a fetish of his.
No,
yeah.
like he's the one being manipulated over here and just
Yeah.
being absolutely abused by his wife.
It's awful, isn't it? It's really, really grim, and
this is horrible.
And that's the thing, right? When I was 13 years old, I remember I used to go to boarding school between I was like 11 and 13. I remember every day we'd go and sit down and watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Man, what would Uncle Phil say? Uncle Phil would be slapping people too, right? You know? And I used to love it. I used to absolutely love it. And I've really enjoyed Will Smith's film. I can think of literally like half a dozen Will Smith films that I could just sit down and watch, start to finish, you know, over and over and over because they're just classic. You know, Men in Black, Independence Day, loads of stuff.
I Am Legend. How many times have you watched that?
Yeah.
Countless.
Like loads and loads of great films that he's done, and it's just awful to watch. And the thing is, he's always portrayed himself as a wholesome guy, a wholesome sort of family man. The roles he plays aren't like weird, degenerate roles or anything like that. You know?
No, they're always kind of role models. Even it's a good
Absolutely.
guy who does the right thing,
Absolutely.
and given the circumstances, does everything to protect his family.
Yes.
Except apparently in real life, he takes that far too far.
Well, in real life, it's poisoned, right? Yeah. That's the thing. Because I think that he probably is in some way like that. He seems like a nice guy. But it looks like he's being taken advantage of, totally. But anyway, Chris Rock isn't going to file a police report, which is nice, I suppose. I mean, like, but why? Why would, like, it's obviously...
You're going to call him over and have some beers and be like, mate, like...
Yeah, exactly. Well, he probably did, you know?
Here's some of my female friends.
Like he probably did, and it's just awful. But then you get, like, you know, the internet's commentariat that have thoughts about these. People tweeting basically that Chris Rock deserved it because you don't joke about a black woman's hair. It's like, really, is that what this is about, Jamal? Or what about Ayanna Pressley, who wants political solidarity with alopecia nations? Alopecia nations, stand up. Thank you, Will Smith. Shout out to all the husbands who defend their wives living with alopecia. Isn't that what this is about?
This is, again, just my thing is off limits. It's like the Muslims and Muhammad. It's just like our thing is the thing you can't joke about.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Hollywood accepts that for Muhammad. You know that. So everyone else wants a piece of it.
We actually had some more memes, but honestly, I'm feeling bad about them now. Like,
let's have a look at them.
Go on then.
Why not?
It's just some of them are, like, you know, quite funny.
That's not bad. When it takes a minute for the joke to land.
I know. But again, like, I don't think Chris Rock did anything wrong, obviously.
No.
And I don't think this is, like, look at Will Smith's face. He's obviously just, this is a joke to him until she gets involved. But anyway, the next one was a bit rough. Oh no, this was good actually. The one after this. It's classic.
Get in one little fight and my mom got scared.
This is one that's a bit rough. But it is accurate though, with the Jack Murphy beard.
But anyway, honestly, after watching all that and learning the details, I think she comes out of all of this looking the worst. Like, Will Smith actually looks
evil.
Yeah, like I'm utterly sympathizing with Will Smith's position. It's like he shouldn't have slapped Chris, but he's clearly being manipulated.
Yes.
And he needs to realize that, and that's his problem. But
yes,
yeah,
he should have left it a long time ago.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium hangouts we do sometimes with premium members, this one on Blair's abolition of Britain and what is British. Anyway, that's me and Carl, and if you want to find out what else I'm putting out, you can follow me on Getter at Callum on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.